Hi guys, and welcome back to another Mandalorian review and dedicated to art. Yes, we have been out of it for a few weeks. Sorry for that, but yeah, we were busy with other stuff. But we're here to review chapter six today. Also to give a quick review on four and five, the episodes that we missed. You know, at least give our thoughts on that. But yeah, it's mainly chapter six, the prisoner, that we're discussing today. Um, I'm your host, Kees Cornelissen, joined by Chris Delman. Nico is still graduating, so I hope that goes well, and then he should be back next week. But yeah, Chris, let's get your quick thoughts on chapter 4, Sanctuary, and chapter 5, The Gunslinger first.
Chapter four, I thoroughly liked. I very much liked it from start to finish. I love the storytelling. I love the setting. I loved this little village of people. Even though this story was essentially the same as a season 4 episode of Clone Wars, or season
Yeah.
2 actually. Funny enough, a Hondo story. Uh, with Anakin and Obi-Wan and a bunch of bounty hunters, but I didn't care. That episode was awesome, and so was this one. And I gotta say, I was thoroughly impressed by what Bryce Dallas Howard had to offer as a director. And the fact that she photographed the ATSD kind of like how a T-Rex in the Jurassic Park series would be photographed, that was a fun little homage, and I really appreciated that.
Okay. Um, well, yeah, I personally, about chapter 4, um, it wasn't just the one episode where Hondo was with the village, and there were bounty hunters in place, and they needed to teach the villagers. I also felt that it was the Clone Wars when Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Ahsoka go to Onderon and teach Saw Gerrera and their Saw Gerrera and Stila and their band of fanatics a couple of tricks. And I feel that that has been done several times in the Clone Wars, several times in Rebels. So when I saw it in the Mandalorian, I'm like, this again? Really? It's the same trope. I get it, sure, but it feels kind of unnecessarily in like stuff we've seen before. And despite it being well directed and well acted, and it was fun to see Gina Carano, I felt the episode was just fine. Anyway, the Gunslinger.
I don't really have too many thoughts on this episode, realistically speaking, just because I felt that it was just good. Like, but there was nothing great about it. Like, it was really like I thought Ming-Na Wen's character as the target. She was good, but she wasn't really given that many chances to be great in the episode.
No.
Um, I love that we were back on Tatooine, but we didn't really do anything that new with it. So it was good, but it
No.
wasn't great as it could have been. Heck, Jake Cannavale, Bobby Cannavale's son, who, I don't hate the character, but good lord, they really should have done more with him. So it was good, but it wasn't great like it could have been. And I think that's kind of my thing with the episode overall. Like, it was good, but it could have been great, especially with some of how the Baby Yoda stuff, it could have intertwined with what the Mandalorian was trying to do a little better. But
No.
I'm not going to complain too much.
Yeah, it felt like Baby Yoda was just there, and we kind of forgot about him, and but we needed to do something with him. Look, Jake Carnival is the son of someone. That's the only reason he's in this episode. He's a terrible actor. He didn't work for this episode. They should have cast someone else who can actually act, but he did not work in this episode. And considering that he is one of the biggest parts of the episode, that really dragged it down a bit. I love seeing Ming Na Wen, but yeah, she hardly had anything to do. And the one time that she had a badass action sequence, it was way too dark because they were masking shitty choreography. I already know that. So don't pretend like the choreography was actually good, but it was just dark. No, you shot it dark because the choreography was bad. And I had hoped that there would be something better because I know that she is a really good actress and she can do action well, and this is not how you show that, unfortunately. Um, and it kind of felt like filler. Oh, we go to Tatooine, cool. Nothing new happens. and we go off, and we go further. And what happened? I don't know. Frankly, I don't care. It count it. This is my least favorite episode of this season so far. So I was very disappointed by this one. But now we get into chapter 6, The Prisoner, which was a return to form. It was great. Some people might say it was a little filler, but I don't care because this episode had one thing in particular, and that was the cast. That was every single person appearing in this episode that I just loved. And I adored the setting in the one location. It was thrilling. It was exciting. It had good action. It had good characters. So, Chris, what are your thoughts on Chapter 6, The Prisoner?
Rick Famuyiwa, I am happy to see you again, sir, because holy crap. And while if you want to say this episode is complete filler, that it's unlikely to come back in any form or fashion, you're probably right. You are probably right. But if this is filler, this is the kind of filler that I want. I want filler that expands the world, that expands the main character, and gives me some of the best action that I have seen in this show so far. And I've seen some damn impressive action. And you throw in some elements from other genres that I really love. And we'll get more into that in a bit. But, and also, arguably the greatest cameo of all time.
Yes, definitely.
We'll get there.
We'll get there, yeah. Anyway, let's just begin at the beginning and go through the episode as it goes on. Mando lands in the hangar, visits an old associate, played by Mark Boone Jr., known from Batman Begins, Too Fast, Too Furious, Memento. Yeah, he's actually in quite a lot of big movies, actually. And you know that it's him, but you know, I like his presence, and and it made sense how he appeared in this episode as well. Yeah, and he's putting a job, like he wants to do a job, but he's putting a team together for that. He needs a fifth member. He already has four, and he thinks that the fifth member should be Mando, and he also needs a ship. So we get introduced to the four members, and these four members, yeah, they're interesting because you get an ex-Imperial sniper called Mayfeld. I don't know who he's played by, but he apparently
Bill Burr. He's a stand-up comedian, like world-renowned, like Louis C.K. level famous.
I don't know who any of that is, so whatever. This type of stuff that Americans know about and I don't. Anyway, then we get a Deveronian named Burke, played by Clancy Brown. This is the most meta thing that you can possibly do. Put Clancy Brown in a live-action role in Star Wars, because he's done all the voice work and all the TV shows, but now we actually have a physical live-action role for him, and it was really funny to see him like that.
I'm sorry, I'm counting Clancy Brown roles in my head real fast.
Yeah. Yeah, like most noticeably, Savage Opress in the Clone Wars and Ryder Azadi in Rebels. Yeah, and besides, of course, Star Wars, he's done so many voice work in other TV animated shows. Of course, he's in the Shawshank Redemption, so you should know him. Anyway, then you get a droid named Zero. I don't know the droid's actor, but I've looked up the filmography, but I didn't know him from anything. But the most noticeable one is a purple Twi'lek named Xian, played by Natalie Tina, Nymphadora Tonks from Harry Potter, or Osha from Game of Thrones. And it's always fun to see her on screen. So, Chris, what did you think about the setup for this episode and this crew that we're getting introduced to?
Honestly, like, one of my favorite characters in all of Harry Potter is Nymphadora Tonks. And
based off the movie, that is interesting.
Seriously, dude, well, because she has such limited screen time, I just want to know so much more about her, and the fact that, you know,
the books.
Yeah, you shush. I don't have time. But still, you know, and the very little bits of her I remember as Osha, I liked what she brought. I love her presence as an actress. And yeah, Bill Burr, who famously hasn't really been that public of a Star Wars fan, but because he's good friends with Jon Favreau, I'm not surprised that he was in the show at all. But the dude really brought his A game. In terms of the jokes, in terms of his acting ability, and even in terms of some of the physicality, as we saw later on in the episode. And of course, Clancy freaking Brown. You like, could this be any more perfect to have him play a Deveronian, and how great to finally have a real Deveronian in something Star Wars? Because, yeah, sure, we see one for a brief moment in the cantina on Mos Eisley, but I want to see a Deveronian in action. We finally freaking got it, and it was awesome. Also, I kind of wish I could remember what the droid's voice actor was, but that's fine. It's fine.
Zero is voiced by Richard Ayoade, I guess. But yeah, I looked up his filmography and I don't know him from anything. To be fair, he reminded me a little bit of Johann Kraus from Hellboy 2, the character played by Seth MacFarlane, the robot-like character. I don't know why, but he just reminded me of him.
Oh!
To be fair, I've seen Hellboy 2 so many times, so that's how.
Well, I feel like an idiot for not double-checking who it is, because it's the black guy from the IT Crowd, one of the most popular British shows of all time. Yeah. Fair enough.
All right. There you go. Well, to be fair, I felt that this entire episode, in terms of the cast, was an homage to great TV actors who've done a lot of TV work. Because, yeah, that's the reason why I don't know several of them, because I don't watch that much TV. But a lot of people will recognize, oh, you were from that TV show, and you were from that TV show. And my girlfriend was saying, oh, you're from that TV show. And I was like, I have no idea, but sure. Anyway. The job is that they need to extract a prisoner from a New Republic ship. For a change, it's actually the New Republic that they have to go to, invade essentially. Anyway, while on the way to the New Republic ship, there are a couple of really fun references that I love. Xi'an mentions Alzok 3. That's a Legends planet, and I'm like, yes, we have it in canon, and I was so happy to hear that one.
And I was so happy because when Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast came out, there was a demo you could play, and it took place on Alzok 3.
I personally know it from Empire of War. It's one of the planets that you can actually go to. And of course, the fact that Mayfeld says, well, there could be anything under the helmet. It could be a Gungan. Youth, I think he just makes a Gungan joke, and it was just so funny. It was so on point. I loved it.
Well, and that's the beauty of comedians like Bill Burr, who know how to really deliver a good line, and
yeah,
that's honestly one of the fun. Like, and here's the thing: it didn't feel forced. It felt like something that his character would say.
Yeah. Exactly.
Although I did hear the term wise ass from him earlier in the episode, and that did throw me off for just a second. If I'm going to be nitpicky and stupid for just a second, but I'll let that go.
To be fair, since Disney has taken over, there have been some questionable language calls in the movies and the TV shows that I'm like, not entirely sure if that fits Star Wars, but they've been doing it anyway. So. Yeah. Anyway, Burke and Mando then get into a spat, and the crew actually manages to see Baby Yoda, and they're like, maybe we can do something with this. We'll get to that later. Anyway, then they come out of hyperspace, and Zero doesn't give a warning, doesn't give a count, and he just maneuvers the thing very roughly, and everyone's like, well, holding on, because Zero is a droid, and Zero doesn't care for human feelings and stuff like that, because he doesn't know about it. And he maneuvers the ship onto the New Republic ship. Crew is not very happy, but sure, whatever. They get into the New Republic ship, and the first thing that I notice is the interior design, and I'm like, I love this. I love how it looks. It looks very, very nice. What do you think about them landing on the thing?
Well, I kind of like how I just love the corridors in the base ships in Star Wars, whether you see it on the Tantive 4 in Revenge of the Sith and New Hope, or whether it's like a lot of the interior stuff in like Empire. Like I just love the designs of the ship's innards. And this is just another great example of all that being put to good use. Because, sure, am I a fan of how the ship looks on the outside? No, because it looks ugly as hell. But
That's just the
As soon
outside.
as you go inside, I'm like, ooh, this looks fun. And then, of course, once you start sprinkling in the details, like the battle droids who actually look quite menacing in this episode, you have, or security droids, rather, I should say. You have all these prisoners who are locked up, and some of them do look actually kind of creepy. It was like something out of Silence of the Lambs, and there's just this building tension constantly throughout the episode until we get the big payoff, which, again, we'll get to in a bit. But as soon as the
Yeah,
lights go out, that's when
yeah.
the fun starts.
Honestly, this sequence in the ship, it felt a little horror thriller like, but I thought it really worked and it was really well used. And like a couple of the tropes that I might not be the biggest fan of in movies and stuff, I thought worked really well in this episode. Um, Also, the score is so good because it is so tense. Holy shit. Okay, that happened. Anywho, but yeah, the score makes the episode also feel tense, in addition to how it's shot and how it looks and everything. But yeah, they encounter a mouse droid. Burke shoots it because Burke is just a brute. But yeah, that sets up some of the security droids, and yeah, the security droids are menacing. And then, gosh, damn it, what is happening? It is fucking 1:30 a.m. at night, and whatever. Anywho, um, Mando is smart. He flanks them and he takes them all out. And he has a little bit of an issue, but he takes them out. And the rest of the crew is just standing there watching, like, oh, wow, he's actually doing that. That's impressive. That was pretty cool. And that was just already a taste of the awesome action that we were going to see in this episode. Because seriously, what do you think in terms of action?
Yeah. Of course, he was gonna just open up the biggest possible can of whoop ass on those droids because it's Mando. And, according to the Bible, the 11th commandment is, thou shalt not mess with the Mandalorian or Baby Yoda. And good Lord, did we find that out in this episode because, Mando had to prove why, frankly speaking, he could take on, theoretically, that entire team. Because,
Mm-hmm.
well, I don't want to spoil the episode, but...
Oh, he kind of does, but we'll get to it, especially because after he takes out the security droids, we get an awesome cameo. Not the best cameo, but an awesome cameo still by a New Republic guard played by Matt Lanter. The guy who voiced Anakin Skywalker in Clone Wars appears in a live action Star Wars thing. And I just love that he appears in this. I was like, oh my god, that's Matt Lanter. I freaked out. Unfortunately, he gets killed though. But it was just really fun to see him in this episode.
Damn you,
But then,
Tonks!
yeah, indeed. Well, to be fair, they were all arguing like, are we gonna kill him? Are we not? And she was like, yeah, just kill him, just get it over with, and let's get to my brother. Because apparently the prisoner that they were going to get was the brother of Xi'an called Quinn. And the moment that they get to him, they get him out of the prison and they push Mando into the prison, locking him in there. But he gets out. Of course he gets out. What do you think? So the crew is trying to get away, but Mando is out of the prison and gets control of the control pad and then starts to mess things up in the ship. Lights go out, doors close. They're like, what is happening here? And this just starts the sequence. Chris?
I shall gladly take over. Because this is hands down the best sequence in the entire show so far for me. Because as soon as those red lights come up, the doors go down, and it essentially turns into a slasher film where slowly but surely everyone gets sort of split up. Burt goes one way, Xi'an goes another way, and Mando starts to stalk everyone. And it's so creepy. It's so intense. But I'm just on the edge of my seat, like, can he do it? Can he actually take everybody out one by one? And sure enough, Burke, even though he's got the strength of like 10 Mandos, he actually proves fairly easy to incapacitate. Xi'an.
To be fair, that was an awesome fight.
Oh, hell yeah. That fight in the control room, great. going up against Shion. I'm like, okay, she's got like 20 different throwing daggers she could throw at him, but he knows how to take her out too. And I'm glad that I'm gonna spoil this right now. I thought for sure that Mando was actually killing them one by one, and I'm so happy that he didn't.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that, but uh, and then of course, Burke has, or it's not Burke, Mayfield has an awesome moment where he takes out some of the droids by himself with his little tripod extension gun, which was sweet. But he, Mando proves to be too much for him too. And
What I loved about that, by the way, was because what I usually don't like in horror movies is the trope where, oh, you see him, then you don't, and then you see him, and then you don't, that type of stuff. But the way that he was getting closer as the light flickered on and off and on and off, and you saw him and he's getting closer, and that was just awesome the way they did that.
That was.
And then when he gets there, it's like and he's done. It is.
And it was so beautifully filmed because. Kind of like how you would see it in like a Halloween or so on and so forth. You don't see him right away. He's out of focus. He's like he's in frame, but the camera's not focused on him, so he's just a blob in the distance. But then, as you mentioned, the lights flicker, gets closer and closer and closer. And you're just like, oh god, and then now the final confrontation between Mando and Quinn was actually really fascinating because
they go about it,
the way that it's structured, the way that it resolves, and the fact that you realize it's because of Mando Quinn got thrown in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's beautiful dramatic irony that the man who locked him up is the man who saved him.
Yeah, absolutely.
And of course, while all that's going on, Baby Yoda's getting chased around all over the ship, and it's quite scary for him for a moment.
Yeah, because apparently Baby Yoda, this is at like the beginning of the entire sequence when Mando is thrown in the cell and then picking everyone off. Baby Yoda actually decides to check on the cockpit and sees the droid, and then he's like, "Oh, I didn't expect you here, so I'm just gonna go." And then the droid goes after him, Zero, and is looking. And then when he finally gets to the room where Baby Yoda was hiding in, of course, behind the door that we've seen him behind a lot, he is thinking of shooting him. And then Baby Yoda actually decides to use the Force, or at least he tries to. And he thinks that he did it, but it's actually Mando who shot the droid. It's a funny reveal, funny fake out, because of course at that point Mando has caught up on everyone and is in the ship again. So he takes Quinn prisoner so he can still get the money, brings him back for the money, and when he wants to fly away, Quinn is tasked to kill him. However, then Quinn finds out that he actually has the New Republic tracker on him. And now we get to probably the best cameo in Star Wars history, because a couple of X-Wings come out of hyperspace from the New Republic, and one of the pilots is played by Dave Filoni.
Yes!
Oh, this is awesome. Chris?
This is the greatest thing ever.
Yes.
Just as someone who loves Clone Wars, loves Rebels, loves Resistance, loves this show, loves modern day Star Wars, I love Dave Filoni, and I cannot thank him enough for everything he's brought to this wonderful world. But the fact that now he gets on camera screen time, and not just as a voice on Resistance, this is incredible. Or Chopper, yeah, and. Yeah, I love this. I love it so freaking much.
I just screamed, "Oh my god, that's Dave Filoni!" I couldn't believe it. It was just so funny. But yeah, the X-Wings come in, they blow up the station, and Mando has no issue anymore. He goes up to the next adventure, essentially, where this episode, it is a little episodic. It is yet another episode because that that's how the last episodes have been. Like Sanctuary, he goes to a planet, he does some things, and he goes away. Then he goes to Tatooine in the last episode, does some things, and he goes away. And now he does this mission, and he goes away off to whatever he's off to now. But like with the last two episodes, I just felt that the supporting cast was not that good. And with this one, my God, was it good. The supporting cast, all of them, they worked so well. They made interesting characters. They used a couple of alien races that we've either seen before or not that much that made it more interesting to be invested in. And at the end, it is revealed that indeed Mando didn't kill the crew, he locked them up. So they're still alive on the New Republic ship. So maybe that could come back to haunt him in a future episode, and I really hope it does.
Or actually, what I think would be even better is if he springs them out for a job later. He'd be like, "Listen, you all owe me because you tried to kill me and put me in here."
Yeah,
So,
but they will double cross him.
maybe. Or maybe they'll know that because he did take them all out, they'll just be like, "We're not gonna mess with you again, man. Just whatever you need us to do."
Okay.
Maybe.
Oh, we'll see.
Whatever
But
whatever lets me see more of my beloved Nymphadora.
yeah. Yeah, but I adored this episode. I thought for a kind of episodic episode, this is the type of episode that I would want because it has such a great supporting cast. It has awesome action. It had an intriguing story that I was intrigued by start to finish, and it was tense. I could feel the tension. So yeah, if you get these type of episodic episodes, more of that, please. Um, Chris, what are your final thoughts on the?
Ditto. I mean, look, sure, would I prefer if every single episode was tied into the overall story? Yeah, but that's not going to be the case. Kind of like episode 2, I really appreciated this episode for the action, for everything behind the production value, which, yeah, funny enough, this episode was also directed by Rick Famuyiwa, who did episode 2. And yeah, Ludwig again with that damn score. You are freaking murdering this show, dude. I love it. And of course, just again, I gotta freak out one more time because Dave Filoni was in live action Star Wars, and it was beautiful. Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, to me, this show hasn't lost any steam over the last couple of weeks. It just plateaued, but now we're going back uphill, and I want to see where this thing can finish off for the season finale.
Especially considering there are only two episodes left, and I feel that there's a lot of potential for the last two episodes where they won't be as episodic, and they will probably involve characters that we've already seen before, and actually ramp up to continue the plot that we saw in the first three episodes. So I think that's very exciting. So guys, please check those reviews out when we do them. Hopefully, Nico is back by the time that we review them. It might be a little bit difficult on Wednesday, considering I'm seeing The Rise of Skywalker on that day. Because, yeah, they decided to drop the episode on Wednesday. Because, yeah, America gets it on Friday, but we get it on Wednesday. We'll see about that, you know? Yes, I'm making you jealous, and I don't care. But, guys, please leave a like and leave a comment with your thoughts on this episode and a couple of the previous ones that we missed. Of course, we missed a lot about the previous episodes, and we probably missed a couple of things about this episode that you might have thoughts on. So let us know in the comments below what you thought. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And Chris, where can people find you?
You guys can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Stardust, Letterboxd, and Discord at Skywalker Dome. And you guys can follow this free channel on Twitter and Instagram at D2A Channel. Please like our Facebook page, join our Facebook group, keep up with the conversation. Whole bunch of new shows coming in 2020. If you want to become part of the channel to help us out with those, hit us up, D2AChannel at gmail.com. That is DTOA Channel at gmail.com.
Indeed. And you can follow me at Dutch Movie Guy on Twitter, Case on Facebook and Letterboxd. We review, besides The Mandalorian, also Star Wars Resistance every week, which is also an ongoing Star Wars show right now. So check out those reviews. Check out the show, of course. And I think that's about it. So up until our next episode, Manus, Maketh Mandalorian.
And may the Force be with you, always.